If you could have got a vaccine before the beginning of the shutdown in 2020 to avoid every single thing that we all went through collectively, you would have got the vaccine now. All of a sudden, everybody's a fucking scientist. Get your fucking vaccine. We are in a pandemic, another pandemic of the unvaccinated. Don't fuck it up for the rest of us. I got vaccinated. Look at me. I look fantastic. I look great. I feel great. And I'm not a professional athlete. I don't play for the Cowboys. I don't play for the Mets. I don't play for the U.S. Olympic basketball team. I'm moving, I'm growing, I'm doing fucking jumping jacks in New York City. Get your fucking vaccination, you dummies, you. I just watched Tony Fauci and CNN and Fox tell me that people with the vaccine, vaccinated people, are now spreading the coronavirus. A couple of days ago, I was yes, I'm vaccinated. Yeah, your little sticker. Yay, I'm vaccinated. Be a hero, be vaccinated. I went from being a hero because I'm vaccinated, and now you motherfuckers are calling me a super spreader? I ain't no fucking super spreader. Figure this shit out.
Hello, welcome to Word of Truth. This is another episode of The Purge, and I named this title Summer Madness. Summer Madness. Shout out to Will Smith for making that song Summer Madness, because that's exactly what it is. It's not the summer madness that we used to know when we used to have a good time and we look forward to the summer. This summer was like, and is, madness. I know that y'all just seen that clip I just showed y'all. This is the result of when people just go into things not getting the full information that they need. Head first, no resistance, no questions, and just do something out of impulse or out of fear or concern or compromise. Now, these reports has been going on for a long time. Ever since the first batch had been put out. Even before then, they was telling you this vaccine is dangerous. Now, again, I tell people, I'm not telling you what to do. Whatever you do, that's your choice. But as for me, I'm going to search the kingdom of God first before I go ahead and do anything like that. Because if you're going to do something like that, then you might as well put on your camouflage and get ready for war and fight for your country with no resistance. Because it may be a chance that this may affect your health and you may die. That's facts. That's just the way it is. People don't want to hear that on the medical side. But this is going to be a fight. This vaccine is going to be a fight. This is pre-Civil War. I don't know how I got on this analogy, but this is pre-Civil War. It's first social, and then it's political, and then after that, it's war. People are not on the side of these vaccines And the more that these reports come out that this vaccine is even helping enhance the COVID-19, then they're going to have to come up with something else and more drastic measures. You already have some of them demanding mandated vaccines, people. People think it's just going to be in one part of the country or one part of the world. No, they all working together to do things unseemly. They are perverting God's creation. And the more that we react to it in fear, the more they're going to press on. The more that we just go on impulse and not resist and ask questions, the more they're going to pour it on us. And there's going to be nothing nobody can do. At some point, if they keep pushing, there will be a civil war. A lot of people is not with this. They don't even like who's in charge right now. So let known that, then you're going to try to put this vaccine on people? Are you kidding me? Wake up. Let's go to the next clip.
Cultural imperialism, the phrase in most of the placards, broadly refers to the exercise of domination in cultural relationships. In such cases, the values, practices, and meaning of a powerful foreign culture are imposed upon one or more native cultures.
And as you might be able to see in the background, the U.S. Embassy continues to fly the LGBT flag, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender flag, in breach of the Vienna Convention, Articles 31E, Article 20, and Article 41, right? They are being hostile towards our laws, our culture, and our own democratic system. Instead of flying the Jamaican flag for emancipation, they have decided to fly that flag, and that is an insult to our country.
Philippa Davies, advocacy officer for the Jamaica Coalition for a Healthy Society, says the flag represents life practices that threatens the Jamaican culture and the teachings of the Bible. She says it also affects the health of the society.
You have to understand what that multicolored flag represents. It represents normalizing perverse sexual behaviors and lifestyle choices, behaviors and lifestyles that lead to disease and death. Our Christian duty is to speak the truth in love.
Protesters say they've been peacefully protesting that the flag be taken down since the day it was raised, but are shocked it remains on the flagpole up to Emancipendence Week. Efforts to contact the U.S. consulate and a member of the LGBTQ group on Friday proved futile. However, the protesters say they will continue to stand against the flying of the rainbow-colored flag, describing it as a symbol of disrespect on Jamaican soil.
Article 20 specifically says the only flag that should fly is their national flag. The LGBT flag is not their national flag. Their own people have not agreed to that at all, okay? And so they're in breach of it. They need to be held accountable. And I challenge anybody from the U.S. Embassy to debate me this on a national stage.
Paige Dixon, CVM Live.
It's good to see people resisting. See, this is what I'm talking about, resistance. A lot that's going on, everything that's going on in the islands has a lot to do with the spirits. My phone going off. With the spirits that these islands has conjured up. These islands are very, very spiritual. Some are good people, some are bad. In this case, you have good people that believe in the Bible and believe that this rainbow flag, this LGBTQ movement is not only it's not a threat, but it's disturbing to Jamaicans, but it's also disturbing to a whole bunch of people. Even people that's not even Christian don't like the LGBTQ community. So at some point, like these people, we're going to have to take a stand on all issues. We have to be resistant on all issues. And I don't mean that in a way of saying let's be revolutionaries and march the streets. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have to use our minds and look at it on all points, on any situation that they throw at us, at any project that they throw at us. We have to look at it in its entirety and look who is it coming from. These people don't care about us. They don't care about us. So at this point, they're going to throw vaccines, they're going to throw social issues at us, this LGBTQ at us. And all of these things that they're throwing at us, a lot of people are turning their back to it. Little do they know, many people are turning their back to it at some point. What's that thing you call drastic situations cause for drastic measures? If I'm saying it right, they're gonna panic, and they're just gonna be throwing things at us, darts at us. The Lord said, beware of the fiery darts, man, of the devil. Beware of his devices. These fiery darts are coming at y'all, at us, and we have to be fully armored with the Word of God, with the Holy Ghost. We got to be cleansed. We got to be saved. We got to pray. We got to fast, because it's not going to get no better, folks. And if it do get better, please believe it, a big bang is really going to happen. And it's not the big bang that these atheists talk about. We about to go to another video, but before we do that, I would like to say thank you for everybody that's watching. Hope everybody is doing well out there, and I hope everybody just paying attention to what's going on around them in their surroundings, because it's not looking good out here. The summer's not even over yet, and it's hot out there, literally and spiritually. It's burning with fire out there. And if you stay out there too long, you're going to get cooked on both sides. I'm just being honest. People just don't care anymore. They believe what they want to believe. The governments are pushing what they want to push. And we have to get ready and get our house in order, because we never know when the Lord is going to come. The Lord can come at any time. And when he feels as though it's time, he will come. So, but anyway, on another note also, before we jump into the next video, excuse me, I am doing a movie. I don't know if I'm going to call it Who is God, or name it the Trinity Truth, or I don't know what I'm going to name it. But I'm starting to work on this movie, and it's going to be a nice long movie, probably. I'm trying to make it about 2 hours. 2 hours, because there's a lot to explain, and I really want to make this a movie, and hopefully everybody tune into it. And also I have a few messages coming out soon, because I'm going on vacation. Actually, I'm on a mini vacation right now, but I have a few messages that I'm putting out, notable ones. Once saved, always saved, saved by grace. I think that's what I called it. I might change the title, but that's coming out. Doctrines of Devils, that's included in the Doctrine of Devils. And I have Divination and Soothsaying. I don't know what the title I'm going to call it, but I'm going to be working on that this week, and I may make that a visual where you actually see me. So And I got other little ones that I'm gonna put out, and plus some of the purges. So beware. Stay tuned, and look out for all of those things. And God bless you all that have and will. Let's go into the next video.
A teenager gunned down while selling water on the side of a busy interstate off-ramp in broad daylight. And now police want to find the person responsible. Good evening, I'm Russ Spencer.
And I'm Christine Spiro in for Courtney Bryant. It happened on the old National Highway off-ramp of 285 westbound a little before 12:30 this afternoon. Fox 5's Lindsay Tuman is live at the College Park Police Department. And Lindsay, do investigators have any leads at this point?
Christine, at this point, investigators say the information they have is very limited. They do say they know that two men in a white sedan were the ones behind this shooting, and they do believe that this was a targeted attack. Now, 4 teenagers, all around 17 years old, were out selling water on the off-ramp of the 285 westbound highway at Old National Highway just around 12:20 this afternoon. Police say those 2 suspects in that white sedan drove up to those teenagers, started shooting at one in particular. They shot him twice in the legs, also in the hand and wrist. That young man was taken to Grady Memorial Hospital. He is expected to recover from those injuries. The suspects, though, took off going south down I-285. The 3 other teenagers selling water, as well as other drivers in that area, all saw the crime, and they did call police. But at this point, there's no other information on who those suspects are or why they targeted this victim. I spoke to 2 other teenagers selling water at the same area later this afternoon. They told me they heard about the shooting, but they weren't worried to go back out there. Police, though, say what they're doing isn't safe.
It only be like a handful of us. We don't know who it really, we don't know who it is, but we just heard somebody had got shot. That's all.
Does it worry you guys at all, or?
No, not here. Because we don't do no, you feel me, no bad stuff or nothing to get us put off.
And so what our officers do, when we see them, we try to shoo them away, let them know, hey, let's try to go somewhere else, fellas. Let's try to find another means of making your money because it's not safe out there.
As for those suspects, police say they did take off going down the southbound down 285, and they're asking anyone who was in the area during that time this afternoon, again around 12:20, if you were there, if you were taking pictures, if you saw anything, please get in touch with the College Park Police Department. You can also call Crime Stoppers with any information. Reporting live in College Park, Lindsay Tuman, Fox 5 News.
All right, Lindsay, thank you very much.
Like I said in my last video when I posted about these water boys, people are not playing with them. I told my wife, I said, look, man, these boys, they're rude, they ignorant. They be knocking on your window, they be all in your window, and if you don't give them what they want, they cuss at you. You know, they give you attitude. They're not polite. They're aggressive. There's like a lot of them. They look like a bunch of thugs. And I get it. Once again, I get it. Young entrepreneurs trying to make a couple dollars. We don't know what their homes are like. We don't know. But like I said, that doesn't excuse their the way they are and how they act and how they patrol these streets. I mean, you know, it'd be like 15 of them, and 6 of them go to one car, 3 of them go to another car. Like, how much money y'all think y'all gonna get? You know what I'm saying? There are jobs hiring, fellas. Once again, there are jobs hiring. I see wanted help wanted signs all over the place. People, restaurants short on staff. Stores short on staff. Y'all young boys have an opportunity, and those that doesn't even have a job has an opportunity to get a job and keep one for a change. Those that never had one can actually get a job right now. And why they're not doing it, I have no idea. And that's why I don't have no sympathy for lazy people. Some people are just homeless and some people are just lazy. I don't have sympathy for lazy people. Let's roll the next clip.
A major gang bust in New York City today. The NYPD arrested 14 alleged gang members.
They are believed to be responsible for at least 20 shootings, and some of their victims are innocent bystanders. CBS 2's Allie Bauman rode along with the police squad for an exclusive look into this takedown, and she's here in studio with more on that. Allie?
We were there this morning when police arrested 5 alleged gang members, all of them between 15 and 21 years old. This is a 13-man indictment charging a years-long conspiracy. And as a result of this takedown, police were able to take 17 guns off the street. It's 5 a.m. in Harlem, and the NYPD's Violent Crime Squad is strapping on their bulletproof vests, gearing up for a gang takedown.
You're going to go behind that door, and sometimes you don't know what's behind that door.
Deputy Chief Brian McGee prepares the dozens of officers heading out to arrest 5 suspected members of the Chico gang. 9 others in the 13-man indictment are already in custody.
They're a violent gang. Their main motive is just to benefit the gang by violence.
We ride along with the squad to the Wagner houses, where they go into one apartment building with shields and rams. As some detectives keep lookout at the exits, the squad steps into the dark stairwell. So right now the squad is conducting a knock warrant in an apartment in the Wagner houses behind me. This is one of 2 warrants being conducted in Harlem right now this morning. Minutes later, 20-year-old Jazier Mitchell and his brother, 19-year-old Jameek Mitchell, are walked out in handcuffs.
They knocked it. We waited about 25 seconds, and someone came in and opened the door. We announced our presence, and we announced why we were there.
The suspect's parents and younger siblings were also home. What were they doing during all this?
They were asleep.
The arrests here wrap up as the sun is rising and families are starting their day. Investigators say these hyper-focused warrants are precision policing in action.
There are so many good people out of the Wagner houses, and it's the small amount of people doing the crime and the violence out there.
Back at the precinct, police also bring in 20-year-old Melvin Williams, who was arrested at the second search warrant location.
Innocent, like that's all I gotta do, stop innocent.
This case links 21 shootings back to the Chico gang, most of them targeting rival gangs in Harlem. According to the indictment, 12 people were shot as a result, including 4 innocent bystanders.
A major gang takedown in Manhattan North. Months and months of patient, careful work went into taking a number of criminals off the streets.
Investigators began building this case January of 2020.
They sit and they comb through a lot of social media. So when people get arrested, we take their cell phones, we do search warrants on their cell phones. We're able to see what's going on between the phone connectivity.
Recovered from the apartments a firearm, 2 30-round capacity magazines, a bag of synthetic marijuana, and a bag of heroin. But unfortunately, this is not the Chico gang's first takedown.
They actually did a case takedown of this gang probably about 3 years ago, and it's going to continue.
Now, how do you prevent the younger kids from stepping in to fill that void in the gang?
The answer to it is, I don't know. I would think if a kid had an outlet to go get a job and have a good education and a good family structure, I think that would help a lot. It's unfortunate. Do I think this is going to end a 13-year-old from becoming a gang member? I can't say that, and I don't think that'll happen. Do I think this, and with the help of everyone here in this room, do I think it will help? Yeah, I think there may be several other kids from the Wagner houses that'll be like, there's no way I want part of that.
All the defendants are charged with conspiracy in the 4th degree, and additional charges include attempted murder, assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. Christine and Dick.
All right, Allie, great work there. Thank you.
Thank you, Allie.
New York has been in the news quite a bit this summer. This is summer madness. I'm telling y'all, man, New York has become the new Chi-Town. It's just safe to say that. I don't know if they're trying to compete with them. I don't know what's going on with Chi-Town in New York. I have no idea what's going on with them, but this guy, the sheriff, whoever he was, he said it right. I mean, even though I don't believe in their ways, their tactics and how the laws is, not just them, but the laws and stuff like that. How can I say this? There's a lot of loopholes in what they do. There's conspiracy theorists. There are people that that place substances in certain areas where they can sell drugs, or they place guns in certain areas where they can buy guns or get guns. They do a lot of things behind the scenes to help these matters come and manifest into what they manifest to. There's a lot they can do to help prevent these matters, but they don't, because if they really, really wanted to, they can really shut New York down. But for some reason, they don't think there's a sense of urgency to do that. So, they're just going to place the blame not only just the parents, but they're going to place it on the children and stuff, and rappers and stuff like that. But they not doing. I remember a time where when you seen police, you just kept it moving. You got out the way. Nowadays, they do things in front of cops. They shoot in front of cops. They sell drugs in front of cops. They smoke in front of cops. Drink in front of cops. There's no respect. And they have become soft. A lot of these things that's happening now happened, yes, back in the day, but not at the rate that is happening now. And then you also have to put in consideration with this younger generation. As you see, they are young boys that's being taken to jail, 13 years old. There's a lot of home issues. Many of our fathers that grew up in the 80s and the 90s wasn't great fathers. They was in the streets, doing what these young kids are doing now. And those same kids look up to those OGs as heroes. And they try to mimic and do as they do. Now you got gangster rappers, quote unquote, living that gangster life, that drug dealer life as rappers, portraying as being gang members and drug dealers. But really, a lot of them are suburban kids that grew up in great homes that portray themselves as bad people. Some are street, some are not. But some are used for propaganda. See, there's many ways I can go with this, and I can talk all day. But the fact of the matter is, again, to me, it all starts home. If these kids are doing this, and just say I give the parents the benefit of the doubt, some may be ignorant. But those that are not ignorant, I say to you respectfully, if your child continues down that road and you don't do nothing about it, you're going to be held accountable, and also them. But mostly you going to be held accountable for not taking that stand and saying this would not be allowed in my house. You would not dress. You have to step up and say you can't dress or look this way or cuss in my house or drink or smoke in my house. You can't. You have to live by my rules. And a lot of parents have became these children's friend, and this is the result. This is the result. The Bible never said be a child's friend. They only given to you for a little bit of time. And during that time that you have them, he going to judge you on that. What was your intent? Did you even try to stick to the word and do it as the Lord says? And raise your child to go in the way they should go. A lot of parents don't know how to do that. A lot of parents just don't do it. And some just won't do it. It is what it is. But it does start at home. And if, as parents, if we don't take that seriously, our generation of children that's in this generation right now, this generation of children, they're going to kill themselves out. Not only by these senseless shootings, but there's other ways that these children are killing themselves. Suicide, overdose. There's a lot going on. I can go into it. I really want to go into it, but I can't. And I already got a video talking about parenting, and I will continue talking about parenting down the line. But that is an issue. It's an issue. Let's go to the next video.
Developing right now, destruction and death in Haiti. A big earthquake rocked the island nation earlier today. The U.S. Geological Survey says high casualties are probable and the disaster is likely widespread. The 7.2 magnitude earthquake shook the troubled country just before 8:30 this morning. Calculations show about 2.5 million people living within 50 miles or so of that epicenter, which was 78 miles west of the capital of Port-au-Prince. News 6's Brian Didlick is in the newsroom with the latest and how close this is hitting to home with our Haitian community here in Central Florida.
So unfortunately, the death toll just keeps rising. At this time, at least 227 people have been pronounced dead, and that number can easily change as many impacted by the earthquake in Haiti are just trying to salvage what they can. And this directly impacts Orlando's large Haitian community, who's asking everyone to send their prayers.
Merci, bon Dieu, ça va tomber. Woo!
Haiti has been devastated by a 7.2 magnitude earthquake Saturday around 8 a.m. Damage is said to be widespread, spanning about 5 miles from the town of Petite-Doremi to the west of the capital of Port-au-Prince, according to the United States Geological Survey team. In Okai, you can see the damage collapsing buildings and leveling homes.
How much can we take?
Dr. Marie Francois speaking with News 6, saying Orlando's large Haitian community is feeling the pain looking at images overseas. She says between the earthquake, growing hunger, overwhelmed hospitals from COVID-19, and with the recent assassination of Haiti's president just this past month, many in her community are traumatized.
The heart is aching. They're in pain.
The part of the country affected by the earthquake is in the southern region, which is the same area that just recently recovered from Hurricane Matthew in 2016. But experts say Saturday's damage is just shy of the devastation caused by the 2010 earthquake. Dr. Francois says the Haitian government needs to improve their infrastructure if they ever want to avoid damage like this again.
If the infrastructure is not in place, those natural disasters will destroy us faster than any other countries, because we don't have nothing in place. We don't have any preparedness. So nothing. So what anybody can do to help is with prayer.
Besides prayers, Dr. Francois is encouraging anyone who is giving through humanitarian efforts as Haiti recovers to do their research before giving. Now, Haiti is in the path of Tropical Storm Grace, and Haitian officials say that they're going to be looking how that storm will impact the country as it recovers from this earthquake. But for now, we're in the newsroom. Brian Didlick getting results, News 6.
And the urgent rescue effort in Haiti ahead of the tropical depression that is bearing down on the island. Rob Marciano standing by with details. The images tell a story of devastation. Thousands of homes destroyed. According to initial government reports, a state of emergency declared as the death toll rises to at least 1,200. Some buildings collapsing into rubble. Crews and residents trying to get to anyone who may still be trapped. Today, the U.S. Coast Guard helping to evacuate some of the injured. Many residents sleeping in tents with nowhere else to go or fearful that their homes could still collapse. The 7.2 quake centered in a rural area already difficult to reach, made even more so by new damage to roads and infrastructure. ABC's chief national correspondent Matt Gutman is in Haiti for us tonight.
Tonight in western Haiti, the desperate search underway
after Saturday morning's earthquake reduced many buildings to rubble, trapping an untold number of people beneath. At least 1,297 people are now dead, and the wound of an entire nation has once again been torn open, and with hundreds more still missing, it's a race against time.
Saturday's 7.2 quake was even more powerful than that devastating earthquake that killed more than 250,000 people here in Haiti. Now, this quake struck in a much more rural area, but the roads to get there are now nearly impassable. There's tangled debris on the roadways, and there are gangs roaming those roadways, allegedly hijacking aid convoys.
Still, foreign rescue teams flooding in to provide aid.
Logistics getting to this area are extremely challenging and dangerous at times. So we're really working and hoping for safe passage for humanitarians is guaranteed.
Makeshift hospitals being formed in the open air. Mark Donald and his family have been using their personal van as an ambulance to help rescue residents.
The hospital has been really packed, and we've been taking people from the airport coming from Port-au-Prince. We can't even count how many people we've been helping.
And from the ruins, there have been moments of hope and anguish. Hours after the quake, a woman and child pulled from the rubble alive. But as night fell, this mother, Oxeline Merency, overtaken with grief. The body of her 7-year-old daughter, Esther Danielle, recovered. More than 3,500 homes destroyed, many now living out of makeshift tents. And the earthquake has placed further strain on the nation's already strapped resources.
We don't have electricity. For now, we don't have water.
Phone lines are also down. This Haitian community in Columbus, Ohio, trying to reach their loved ones.
I have my sister, my cousin, my brother, my uncle, and I really worry because I don't know if they're alive or what happened to them.
Lindsay, the people waiting here are the injured waiting for transport to Port-au-Prince. And it seems that Haiti can't catch a break. Its president was assassinated last month. There is COVID here, and now a tropical depression is bearing down on the region. Lindsay.
A series of crises all at once, Matt. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It is terrible. Excuse me. It is terrible what's going on in Haiti. Again, like I said, I think it's a spiritual thing that's going on. God's judgment is going on. Think of it. Think of the history of Haiti. Think of it. The violence, the corrupt government, the lack of opportunities, the poverty. Look at it. And it's unfortunate that this happened to them. They had the earthquake, and then right after that, they had to deal with the tropical storm. It's terrible. But I can't overlook and see that this is just judgment upon Haiti. This is judgment. You might not want to hear this. You might not like to hear that. But the fact of the matter is, that's what it is. It's judgment. What's going on right now in Summer Madness? In Summer Madness, it's judgment. In fact, this is gearing up for the real, true judgment. Because once these plans start panning out, they're going some going to fall by the wayside. Some going to become deceived. Some going to fall away from the faith. And as you see, the churches are dead. I'm going to say it again. The churches are dead. All of them. All of them. All of them. If you're compromising, and not doing the Lord's will, you're lost. You're in the wilderness. Come back to Bible. Come back home. Because as a church, regardless of what's going on, the laws of the land, the Lord said, yes, obey the laws of the land, but the Lord never said compromise. Ooh. Never said that. And this is why you got to have spiritual discernment, and this is why you got to be filled with the Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost is the knowing, the all-knowing. I'm not going to get into it. Let's pray for Haiti. That's all I can say. Pray for Haiti. Let's go to the next clip.
Vendor at a Kroger store is accused of a disturbing crime. Authorities accuse DeJuan Price of using his cell phone to photograph men in a public restroom in Forsyth County. Detectives tell us one of the victims works at Kroger. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us live from Forsyth County. And Angelique, we understand Chamblee police recently took the man into custody.
That's right. This all started when Chamblee police pulled him over just last week for a traffic violation. Once they ran his information, that's when they discovered he had this disturbing, outstanding felony warrant. The alleged crime is an intrusion of a despicable nature. Forsyth County investigators say vendor DeJuan Price at this Peachtree Parkway Kroger in South Forsyth County allegedly placed his cell phone strategically in the restroom and recorded a co-worker and a second man while they went to the bathroom.
Our victim was using the public restroom and he noticed that there was a phone positioned above the restroom and the partition between the two bathrooms. And when he exited the restroom, he went to wash his hands and Mr. Price went and retrieved the phone and walked out of the bathroom.
Investigators say Price, who lives in Stone Mountain and worked as a vendor for the grocery store, not only allegedly eavesdropped on his co-worker, but a member of the public as well.
We have two victims. We have identified two victims. One of the victims he recorded on 3 separate occasions.
Investigators say the alleged intrusive invasions of privacy happened last July. Police stopped Price for a traffic violation in Chamblee last week, and that's when they discovered the outstanding felony warrant.
It's unlawful surveillance, so by recording somebody without them knowing, it's actually a crime.
And what a disturbing crime. Investigators say they are trying to determine if Mr. Price may have been involved in this in any other jurisdictions. We are reporting live in Forsyth County. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Angelique, thanks.
Man, I didn't see this one coming, but even though I had my suspicions that these type of things do go on, I saw it in the past that these type of acts, perverted acts, goes on. I saw it go on for women, like where men put the camera in the women's bathroom, but now you got men putting cameras in the men's bathroom trying to see what the men. This is oh man, what is wrong with people, man? And he's doing this like he's not going to get caught. Like me, when I go to the bathroom, I look up. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm looking up. I'm looking around. I'm not playing around because I know people do stuff like that and it's sick and they need help. Like, this guy needs help. Like, seriously. Let's roll the next clip.
The city of Kabul has experienced so much upheaval for decades, and this is another change to get used to, and one that's far from easy.
The situation for now is not clear. No one can say what will happen. All the people are just lost and confused.
In the space of one traumatic day, life on the streets feels completely different.
This is one of the most obvious signs of the transformation that's taken place here, literally overnight. The whole of the center of Kabul is protected by these fortified checkpoints, concrete blocks, barriers, normally guards carrying automatic weapons and armored Humvees with heavy machine guns. On this morning, nothing.
People have been getting used to the novelty of a new force in charge, the subject of intense curiosity as Taliban take up checkpoint duties on the roads.
Whoever used to fear us, they've now seen the Mujahideen and that we are from the soil, and we don't want Afghanistan to be destroyed.
But there's widespread nervousness about what this new Taliban rule will look like. Many businesses and shops remain closed, though there are signs of life returning to normal.
If there's peace, then everyone will benefit, the businesses, the workers.
There are deep-rooted fears about the erosion of basic rights, in particular for women and girls, despite assurances from the Taliban, and about a return to cruel punishments for certain crimes. But many still remember life under the previous Taliban government being at least crime-free for the most part.
Everybody will be safe. Nobody's kid will be kidnapped again for ransom.
With the sudden collapse of the Afghan government, the people of Kabul and their new leaders have been thrown together faster than any had expected. Now, together, they're feeling their way forward into their new reality.
So, Rob, when you're out there on the streets of Kabul, it must feel almost quite surreal.
It is rather strange, especially this was the first day, if you like, of this new reality, the first full day of Taliban control. And you saw it on the faces of people coming out, Kabul residents, Monday morning, seeing these Taliban, some of them for the first time. Some of the older residents, of course, will remember their rule from previously, from the mid-90s through till 2000, 2001. Many people having, of course, very bad memories, very bad experiences of that time. The Taliban, of course, are insisting this is a different type of rule now. There will be a different type of Taliban, more sensitive, etc. But it remains to be seen, especially in Kabul, if they will meet those words with actions, if they'll live up to that. And of course, there is far more scrutiny now, 20 years later, because of communications and technology. The whole world is watching, and the whole world, of course, will remember what Afghanistan went through before 2001 and some of the horrors. So they are very much under scrutiny, and you do get a sense of that they do sense, do feel as though the world is watching.
And as to those scenes from the airport, Rob, is anyone actually in charge of the airport? Because it's a couple of hours since people were trying to get onto or literally hang on to those aircraft.
There is a certain amount of order, if you like, but there are two lines that are separated by this chaos in the middle. Let me explain. If you have outside the terminal now, you have a Taliban cordon, armed Taliban keeping people away from the terminal. There's still a big pressure. A lot of people would still like to get in there. In fact, we do hear occasionally the odd burst of gunfire. We know that Taliban soldiers and also US soldiers, it seems, have been using weapons mainly to scare away people to force them back at gunpoint. You also have the US defensive line inside the terminal, inside the
Rob,
airport,
I'm going to pause you there, for which I apologise. We're going live to the United Nations in New York because this special meeting on Afghanistan has just kicked off. It was.
I don't want to hear nothing they got to say. What's going to happen is, first of all, this was going to happen regardless. Because they have to cause chaos. Some way, somehow. for some reason, Americans love to create chaos. First of all, America wanted to go over there and help these people. Now you backing out. And then on top of that, you're going to bring some of those people over here. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? Now, many people don't like Donald Trump, but I'm going to tell you something. Donald Trump would have never had let America bring over some of those people over here, knowing their history. I think that's a big mistake. And they're saying they're considering allowing them to come over here. I think that's a big mistake. I'm all for helping people. But see, this is the problem. This is the problem. The problem is you help these people. You went over there and forced yourself on these people. You develop a relationship. And now you want to back out. These people is not going to forgive you for that. They may be on chill right now, but once they get themselves, this is what's going to happen. Once they get themselves under control and together, they're going to come back at us, and it's going to be another war under the Biden administration. I'm not prophesying that, but I'm telling you, if America doesn't handle this is what I'm saying. If America does not handle this correctly, we're going to have another war on our hands. And already we at the brink. Already. And I'm going to leave it at that. Let's roll next video.
A code red for humanity. Tonight we begin with the wake-up call from the United Nations on what they call the unequivocal impact humans are having on our planet. Their once-in-a-decade climate report is out today, and with it comes a warning about what could happen if humans do not aggressively change. It's the world's most expansive report yet into climate change, and there's no sugarcoating it. The UN report says at this point we are not able to stop global warming for at least 30 years. Essentially, a hotter future is already locked in, a future where extreme weather events like devastating fires, historic flooding, and extreme heat are all more common. The report's authors are essentially sending the world's leaders a final wake-up call: curb emissions and dramatically reduce consumption, or face a world that is fundamentally different. Around the world, fire crews are battling fires tonight on a nearly unprecedented scale. If seeing is believing, many are getting a first-hand look at a worst-case scenario for the future. But the report concludes there is still time to change. Our Maggie Rulli reports from Greece.
Code red for humanity. A dire warning tonight from the United Nations about our planet's future. Scenes more reminiscent of horror movies now playing out right before our eyes.
Very problem. My island is on fire.
This is Greece in 2021. Turkey, California, China, Germany. A brand new once-in-a-decade report from the UN is incredibly clear. We are altering our planet. The report detailing how climate change is making extreme weather worse in every region of the globe. Hotter heat waves, heavier rain, more extreme droughts, raging infernos.
You can hear the crackle of these flames. The fires are just ripping through the underbrush here. Look at that. We see it climbing up that tree. It is going all the way up the hillside. We have seen dozens of these hot spots popping up along the road. This is what firefighters are struggling to keep up with.
Here in Greece, the fire is turning the sky a bloodshot, ominous red, forcing residents out of the Greek island of Evia, making conditions all the more difficult for the crews desperately trying to help them to safety.
My heart cries. I leave my family behind.
The Greek wildfires have been raging for more than a week. Neighboring Turkey finally got most of their fires under control after nearly 2 weeks, killing at least 8. And it's all across our globe. Extreme weather of seemingly biblical proportions, now a painful new normal.
Firefighters had been working in this area just a few days ago, but they've already moved on to other areas now. You can see obviously the fire is starting again here.
There are at least 93 active wildfires burning in Siberia, over 2.8 million acres destroyed, some villages in the region evacuated. In America's West, record heat, drought, and strong winds feeding blazes like the Dixie Fire up in Northern California, now the largest singular fire in the state's history.
It's a leveled ghost town out here. The surrounding areas still threatened. The air difficult to breathe. Because of the multiple hazards, officials say it could be weeks before families are allowed to return.
The 8 largest fires in California have all occurred in the past 4 years. Unprecedented 116-degree heat in the Pacific Northwest and all-time record highs in Canada, causing hundreds of deaths earlier this summer. And if it's not record heat and fires, it's flooding. Yet again, Venice's iconic St. Mark's Square covered in water far earlier in the year than normal. These horrifying scenes from China, commuters trapped in chest-deep water in train cars, streets transformed into rivers after record rainfall in the center of the country.
How high was the water up to here?
That's here? I was in Germany just 3 weeks ago, the site of devastating floods after a once-in-1,000-year rainstorm killed at least 160 people.
There's so many people dead. You don't expect people to die in a flood in Germany.
Buildings in this medieval town, around since before the 15th century, were once thought to be able to stand the test of time, now potentially destroyed by one flood.
From floods that wipe out entire towns to fires that leave forests and homes burned, covered in ash, still smoldering. These extreme, once-in-a-lifetime, unprecedented events are now becoming common, and scientists all point to one thing: climate change.
It is indisputable that human activities are causing climate change and making extreme weather events more frequent and severe. Second, it shows that climate change is affecting every region on our planet.
The UN's report confirming in the strongest language ever that the world is warming at a rate unprecedented in the last 2,000 years. And the report says we, humans, are to blame. Our actions have us at the breaking point, even if we meet the goals of the Paris Climate Agreement to limit warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
The number 1.5 degrees Celsius, there was this, ideally from the Paris Agreement, we would try to keep warming below that level. That looks like a pretty big challenge at this point.
Some impacts of climate change are now irreversible. Our behavior has altered our oceans, changed our planet's glaciers. In Greenland, the amount of ice that melted in the space of one day in July could cover the entire state of Florida in 2 inches of water. And no matter what we do, the ice melt is going to continue and get worse.
Changes in ice sheets, deep ocean temperature, and acidification will continue for centuries to thousands of years, meaning that they are irreversible in our lifetime and will continue for generations to come.
The report concluding sea level rise may be one of the single biggest problems for the rest of the 21st century.
Even if you suddenly stop the increase in warming, you're going to still see melting for decades to come.
What's different about this report? Well, just how confident scientists are about the conclusions.
So this report was produced by over 200 scientists from 65 countries. They worked for 3 years together to assess huge amounts of scientific information, over 14,000 studies and research papers.
Data from the past 8 years has the scientific community more confident than ever before that humans are the cause of what's happening to our planet. But it doesn't have to be this way. While more warming is expected in the coming decades, it's not too late to change trends if humanity changes behaviors now.
We can't undo the mistakes of the past. This generation can make the systemic changes that will stop the planet warming, help everyone adapt to the new conditions, and create a world of peace, prosperity, and equity. Climate change is here now, but we are also here now. And if we don't act, who will?
A call to action tonight from the United Nations. Maggie Rulli joins us now from Greece. And Maggie, as we saw in your piece, you've been in 2 disaster zones just in the past few weeks, there in Greece and, of course, the flooding in Germany. These extreme weather events taking such an emotional toll on these communities. How are people that you're talking to responding to it all?
Yeah, Lindsay, emotional is the perfect word to describe it. No matter where we are, we always hear the same thing. People tell us they're exhausted, they're angry, and they're scared. Here in Greece, people are tired. They're exhausted. The fires here on this island alone have been going on for more than 7 days. We're talking about these extreme, once-in-a-lifetime events that, Lindsay, now seem to be happening at least once a summer, and they're lasting for longer than ever. I mean, you talk about just the toll that takes on someone, because all of this is so personal. And we heard from that one young man who said, my island is on fire. These fires are burning through people's homes. These ferries and boats behind me, they are all on standby, waiting if someone needs to be evacuated from their home tonight. That takes a toll. When we were in Germany, I'll never forget standing in front of this makeshift garbage pile. It was the size of a football field, 2 stories high, and it was filled with people's ruined belongings, everything that they cherish. This is personal, and people just get exhausted of it. And then soon they become angry. So many people always tell us they're angry their governments haven't done more. They should have known this was coming. We've been talking about climate change. We get natural disasters. Why weren't they prepared? And they're demanding that governments step in and do more, because this is going to keep happening. And that's why people are scared. They're scared for the future. We just saw that UN climate report saying these types of natural disasters are happening, and they're going to happen more often. That medieval town in Germany with houses that have been around before the 15th century. One man told us he can't believe his house, it might be ruined. How is he ever going to come back? Are those people going to rebuild if there's going to get more floods? People here in Greece, with Athens experiencing temperatures 113 degrees. I mean, how long is that livable for? Are people going to be able to live in these cities and these countries any longer? Lindsay, I think we all know this was coming, but many people thought it was going to be centuries or at least decades in the future. But for places like Germany, for places like Greece, for places in America, all of this is happening right now, Lindsay.
Right. The urgency, I think, has been lost on so many of us. But, of course, the fear and frustration, understandable. Maggie, thank you so much for your reporting.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
This is the definition of summer madness. This is 316, man. Word of Truth, another Purge episode, and this is Summer Madness. Way to end this this episode, because it's definitely hot out there on all points. No pun intended. It's literally hot out there. You don't want to get yourself caught up in that. Please believe it. And in fact, I gotta make sure I get my car fixed, my AC fixed. The high works, but the lows don't work. As long as it's cold, I don't care. But I got, excuse me, definitely get in there and fix that, and get some more Freon in there. But on another note, climate change. I don't believe in climate change. I just believe in God's judgment. I think we're in the time of the Lord's judgment. And I think the Lord is showing us in many different ways and avenues that time is taking, and the birth pains are starting to enhance. And if we're not aware of that and we're not paying attention to that, we're going to miss the boat. We got to take what the Lord give us and have given us, and make sure that we use it righteously. Our purpose here on earth, and why we here, is while the Lord give us, He's going to see and watch and see how much we work with that. And when we come back to see Him, we have to come back with some good results. Yes, it's good to have the word of God. Yes, it's good to be righteous and loving and, giving and things like that. But that's not the base of the scriptures. It's if you believe in full who he is. And if you believe in full on who he is, it's like you're under his will, literally, meaning that you won't move unless it's under his ordinance. If God ain't in it, if the Holy Spirit ain't guiding you to it, if God ain't in it, you ain't going to do it. That's the best way I can tell you. I can't give you no theological explanation. But I will tell you, if you are working with the Lord and in the Lord and truly in it, and working out your own salvation, then you're on the right path. If your desires of this world has dwindled and you're feeling different, that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. If you feel out of place with the world and you feel as though you don't belong here, that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, anyway, let me get on out of here, man. Like again, I'm gonna say, God bless y'all, and I will be in touch. Like I said, I'm on a mini vacation. I may take a 2-week mini vacation type of thing, where I'm not working too much, but I'm more likely resting and putting things in order, most likely, and getting ready for my birthday this weekend. And thank the Lord for that. And I'll be giving y'all the divination, soothsaying video soon. I might change the name of it, but that's going to be in the works, and make sure you tune in for that, because that's going to be a nice video. And my purges and everything else. And my music is coming soon. New music is coming. New videos and visuals is coming. And it's a lot more to tell. But in due time, we will dig into those things, Lord willing. This is 316. I'm signing off. God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And we are following a developing story out of West Harris County, where a woman was gunned down after pulling into her garage. The latest on the search for the suspect who fired 50 shots.
And Harris County detectives say the woman was shot multiple times at her home on Apple Tree Hill Lane near Barker's Forest Lane. KPRC 2's Brittany Jeffers has been following this story for us.
She joins us live from the neighborhood with what investigators are sharing about the story here. Brittany, good morning.
Good morning. Just a tragic case, and deputies are telling us at this point they don't know what led up to the shooting, but as you mentioned, they say that woman was pulling into her driveway here when a gunman fired more than 50 rounds at her.
I don't know, like fireworks. It was fast. It was
What neighbors thought were fireworks was actually a barrage of gunshots outside of this Katie home on Apple Tree Hill Lane. Harris County Sheriff's deputies say a 31-year-old woman was coming home from her job at a gentleman's club in the Galleria when she pulled into the garage. Someone started firing.
The only suspect information we have at this point is a dark colored vehicle pulled up, got out, and shot approximately 50 rounds at her.
Police don't have any leads on a suspect. Neighbors like Gianna Delaney says she didn't know the victim, but hopes they'll have answers soon.
They're very private. They're like, they don't even keep their cars outside. I don't even know like who lived there. Like I'd never see them come in and out.
According to detectives, no one else was inside of the home at the time of the shooting. Right now, they say they're working to get a search warrant for the residents. In the meantime, they're asking neighbors, anyone who lives in the area, to check to see if they have any surveillance camera footage that might help them try to identify this gunman. Reporting live, I'm Brittany Jeffers, KPRC 2 News.
So many questions yet in that investigation.